How do you even know how to do it?
I've been a mechanic since I was probably like 13 years old. The last school grade I actually passed was 6th grade. I made it to 7th grade. 7th grade, they actually wanted me to stay back. And after having stayed back twice already, as a younger man, I was like, there's no way I'm going to do that. And I think I remember telling my dad, if they don't let me in 8th grade, I'm coming right back home. And I went, and it was supposed to be 8th grade, and I was supposed to go into 7th grade. So basically, I turned around, came back home, and my father had called Alfio Finari, the guy that owned the gas station across the street. Italian guy my father knew. And he was, all right, send them over, you know. And I went over there. I started changing tires in the beginning and, and doing simple tune-ups, changing air filters. And this was all when I was like 13, 14 years old. And, it just grew from there. By the time I was 16, I pretty much was doing everything any of the other mechanics were doing. Al was an excellent mechanic also. So that's where I got my, he was my mentor, and I learned as much as I could from him, while I was there. And after that, I got a job at McDermott Chevrolet. I was 18 years old, and I think at the time I was the youngest mechanic they ever hired. And I don't know. After that, it was just, bebopping around to different shops. I've been fixing stuff my whole life, basically. All kinds of stuff. I think I told you the other day about how my mom was at a tag sale. I was like 7 or 8 years old, and she wouldn't, there's like all these things that were for like a nickel that she wouldn't spare. And I came across this little service manual put out by General Motors. It was a service manual about, I believe it was like Army trucks or something to that effect. It was a green manual, and it was, and that's when the basically like the 283 motor or 265 motor, the small block Chevy motor, like in a 57 Chevy or something like that. Those first V8s. That's when they came out, and I thought it was the coolest shit, and I could just barely read at the time, and I would open it up, and I would try to sound out the word. If I couldn't, I'd ask my mom, and she would tell me, or I'd ask my dad. And I started memorizing all the pictures of the components of the engine, and I had that book with me for a couple of years. I was like, Dad, you know what this is? And I would tell him what it is, and most of the time he didn't even know, So, and that just, was fascinating to me. And, and every time, the hood would go open on the car, I'd be looking, asking questions, and I just picked it up. It was something that came natural to me, but it was all because of that 5-cent book that I got when I was 7 or 8 years old that my mom bought me.
Do you still have it?
No. I wish I did. I really wish I did. But, yeah, I kept it till I was, I kept it till I outgrew it, till there was nothing more I could learn from it. And, but, well, I don't know. I'm not sure my parents were happy about that, because when I think I was 15 or 16 years old, and I had bought an old car, and I pulled the motor apart piece by piece and dragged it up into my bedroom. And so I had a 350, small block Chevy 350 that I had put into my bedroom, and I assembled it, disassembled it, assembled it, disassembled it. I took it apart and put it back together so many times that I got good at it. Although I never put any of the motor was well worn out when I got it. So when I actually got a car and I put it into it, I beat the crap out of it and blew the motor, a month later. But, I actually knew that I was sort of questioning whether it was going to work anyway, because the bearings in it were all old, and I believe it might have been, might have had something else wrong with it. I can't remember. But, yeah, anyway, that was cool. And I started, I was never one to build really expensive hot rods. I loved the art of taking something that was broken you know, welding it up, filing it off, and making it new again. Whatever that, it's not repurposing, but it's you know, just repairing, I guess, you know.